Yo, welcome to Baggy TV. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you guys are having a good evening. Lads, we had a fantastic stream yesterday. I don't know if you guys caught it. For those of you who didn't, you really need to go check it out because I had a journalist on from the Chelsea socials and he was fantastic. Rob did a great job. He answered a lot of good questions. He spent an hour and 40 minutes getting battered by everybody in the chat and in the panels, and the man wasn't going to stop. He was going to answer every question put to him. So if you guys didn't see it, go check it out. It's literally my last upload. It was fantastic. Today we're going to talk about transfers again. And that's what we're going to be talking about for a little while yet. CJ, how you doing? Yeah, welcome to the stream, CJ. Yeah, so we're going to be talking about a lot in regards to transfers, and we're going to try to approach all these transfer rumors from different angles and different perspectives. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about a couple of key elements. The first one is the latest updates in regards to the big transfer news, big transfer targets like the Achraf Hakimis, the Erling Haalands, some other ones, and also some players on the way out. We're going to be talking about those. But at the same time, those who are coming in, we're not going to just talk about the stories. We'll do that. Then we're also going to talk about the impact that they're going to have on Chelsea Football Club and also on the squad. What will they be adding? What will they be subtracting, if that's the right word, to the squad? Angie, we'll talk about that. We'll get into that. There's developments in regards to Achraf Hakimi, but it's not a done deal as of yet. But it's getting quite juicy and quite close. We'll get into this in more details in a little bit. I want to welcome Bobby to the stream. Bobby, how you doing, my man?
Yeah, I'm good, Baggy. I'm good. I'm the first one on the panel tonight.
Say again?
Said I'm the first one on the panel tonight.
Yeah, you are.
I think the show yesterday was so good with Rob that I was very keen today. Big up to him. You know, he really gained respect yesterday, and well done you for bringing on a proper journalist. Who knows a lot about Chelsea. Good view on Chelsea. You see, why I liked what you did yesterday was, I think not since, I've supported Chelsea for decades. I've seen a lot of things. And not since 2004 has there been a reason as big as this for Chelsea fans to be very, very positive. We're so blessed. You know, we've got, I believe, hopefully, that by the end of this transfer window, we'll have 3 big signings and at least 1 goalkeeper. We have the capability. We've got the project, and we've won the biggest prize of all. So we really can go forward. The difference between this time and 2012 is this is a beginning, whereas 2012 was sort of an end. So you know, it's a brilliant time, and it was great to have that sort of journalist for us to ask a lot of questions, and he did well. He felt a bit sorry for him after all.
He did.
He did very well.
I know. Listen, we had a quick chat before the stream kicked off, and I said to him, look, there's a segment which is dedicated to you, and there's a segment which is dedicated to the subscribers and the panel and the people who interact. Now that segment, you can be part of it, or you can you can bounce out just before that. So it's really up to you. And he said we'll play it by ear and see how it goes. And then when we got to that segment, I asked him, how good are you for time? You want to stay? And he said, yeah, I'll stay. And when he started seeing everyone coming in and talking directly to him, he took that challenge on, and he did fantastic. He did fantastically well. I'm really impressed, and I will try to get him back on the channel in the future, because it was really worthwhile having him on, and he added a lot in regards to news and different perspectives. And I'm trying to get more journalists of that caliber on this channel. I'm trying to get more influencers of that caliber on this channel. But a small channel like mine is not always going to have access to these people. But hopefully, I'm working on things. And God willing, I can bring on some more great people on this channel and help you guys interact with them. One thing I want to do on Baggy TV is I want to give you guys the opportunity to talk to these guys, directly, rather than just writing messages in the chat and whether or not they get read or not. No, I want to give you the opportunity to actually talk to these people. I'm working on some big name journalists. So if that pans out, you'll be surprised to see who you'll be talking to in the near future. So I'm working on it. But, fingers crossed. Hopefully, I'll be able to get them on. Lads in the chat. Lads in the chat, you can jump in and talk to me directly by using the link in the pinned comment. I'm gonna address the first topic. I'm gonna address the first topic. I'm surprised I haven't seen some of the other guys coming on right now. I'm gonna jump in. I'm gonna address the first topic. And the first topic is this: Achraf Hakimi. It's not a done deal as of yet, but Chelsea apparently have agreed terms with the player. The contract agreement has been reached with the player, as far as I have seen on various different sources. What is left now is the agreement to be reached between us and Inter Milan. The issue apparently from the first offer that we made was that we included a staggered payment system, and we also included players. Apparently, could be wrong, but a staggered payment system means we'll give them a lump sum, and then we're going to start giving them installments depending on bonuses, targets, and whatnot. And we were also including a player or two in the transfer. Now that has been rejected. Now the offer is, I think, a new offer is being tabled for Achraf Hakimi, which is more in line with what Inter Milan actually want. Whether PSG is also going to make another offer, I'm not so sure as of yet, but I know PSG are interested. And I think PSG have also reached some sort of agreement with Achraf Hakimi as a player. Now, there is two aspects I want to talk about in regards to Achraf Hakimi's transfer. The first one is Lautaro Martinez, because Lautaro Martinez is also a player that is represented by the same agent that represents Achraf Hakimi. And apparently talks were also going on in regards to Lautaro Martinez and a potential acquisition by Chelsea in regards to Lautaro Martinez. Now, this is not an official story. This is not an official bid or an agreement, etc., etc. It's just talk right now because he represents both Achraf Hakimi and Lautaro Martinez. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. But the first thing I want to talk about is this. Achraf Hakimi coming to Chelsea Football Club. Should the deal get done? So does that make Achraf Hakimi a competitor to Reece James? Or does that give Reece James the opportunity to be a little bit more flexible and play in a couple of positions? We know Reece James can play as a centre-back. We know Reece James can play as a DM. We know Reece James can play as a full-back and a wing-back. So also, Achraf Hakimi can play in various different positions as well. So I want to ask Bobby his point of view in regards to Achraf Hakimi coming to Chelsea Football Club. Is that a hindrance or is that a compliment in regards to Reece James's position? And we'll also get to Livramenti as well after we address Reece James.
Yeah, it's a good one, this, because Achraf Hakimi, I didn't know too much about him, but having done some inquiries into him since we were interested, I've found that this is indeed, as you say, a flexible player. He can play on both flanks, and he's very versatile, and I'm quite sure he could probably find himself somewhere in the middle as well. He creates a lot of chances. I guess the truth of the matter is, look, if a player is world class, like this player apparently is, He's only 22 years old. It's a no-brainer. He's not coming in. You see, we need strength in depth. And one way to do that is by having flexible players. There is absolutely no way whatsoever is he coming to replace Reece James. Reece James himself is a flexible player. So he's coming to complement him. Sometimes they'll play together. Sometimes they'll have a rest. There's injuries, there's suspensions. There's so many things. The number of games Chelsea could play next season if they are successful is what, about 68, something like that. It's astronomical. You know, it is huge. So we need this player. You know, I've heard talk of, he's going to discourage Livramento. Livramento has only a year left on his contract. Well, yes and no. You know, people go on about what's the guy that went to Brighton? I say
Tariq
Lamptey. You know, I mean, who would you rather have, Reece James or Tariq Lamptey? You know, Lamptey's a good player. I wouldn't say he's world class, whereas Reece James is going to be world class. And sometimes a few will slip under the radar. Hakimi is a must, especially as we're going to offload either Alonso or Emerson or even both. He's going to support both Chilwell and Reece James on either flanks. As far as Livramento is concerned, I would be surprised if the club don't get him to sign an extended contract and go out on loan. If he wants to go on a permanent deal, it's too premature. How old is Livramento? Do you know what I mean?
18.
Look at people like Mason Mount. The best players that have broken through at Chelsea have had a loan spell. So if he has that attitude, then it means he's a bit of a big-time Charlie, and I can assure you he won't make it. So I'm not worried about that. He's very young. He needs to go and bide his time, and having a player like Hakimi can only be good for Chelsea. It can only be a good thing, especially as we're trying to improve the squad going forward.
Yeah. Would you say that Achraf Hakimi is more of a threat to Azpilicueta rather than Reece James?
Yeah, if there's anybody that would be threatened, it would be Aspi. But remember, you know, there's going to be squad rotation. You know, Aspi will become more and more a right centre back. You know, as players age, they tend to drop further back in the field and get narrower in the field. And that's what's going to happen to him. Aspi is a very fit man, you know, but, you know, he is in his 30s now. And if anybody's may suffer from this, it would be him. But as I keep saying, you know, we have so many games. Remember, Hakimi himself is going to go away for the African Cup of Nations. Yeah. So that's another aspect to all this. So players like Aspi will get their opportunity. If the average player in a squad system on a season like this is going to get about 25 games, which for teams that don't have European competition, that's their full season almost. So I don't think we have much to worry about there at all. It's only a plus. Yep. What we need to worry about is getting the forward that will put away the chances he'll create.
Yeah. I'll get into that in a second, Bobby. I want to address this comment by Richard. Richard, I saw these reports regarding this Gustavo Gomez guy. He's 28 years old and he is in his twilight of his career. Apparently, he had a decent career, but he's not really done it, and he's not really doing it. I'm thinking this is one of those fringe players that maybe has been talked about just to increase newspaper sales from South America. I can't really see this happening. In regards to the Toro Martinez, Bobby, in regards to Toro Martinez, same agent as Achraf Hakimi. The media is reporting talks have started between Chelsea and the agent in regards to Toro Martinez. Now, do you think this is something that we could be doing? Do you think the Toro Martinez is a player we should be looking at, especially with the approach that we have in regards to Erling Haaland, which we're going to go into in more detail in a minute? But we are going to look to get a proper number 9. The Toro Martinez is not really a proper number 9. He's more of a false 9, a 10 at best. What do you think in regards to this guy? Do we need him? Should we be looking at him? I know a lot of guys on social media have been, rubbishing this the story and not been giving it a lot of credit. But I just want to get your perspective on this.
It's an interesting one. It is. Having the same agent as a sought-after player like Hakimi doesn't equate to you going on a deal with him, in my opinion. I just think, I don't know. It's an interesting, it's going to be an interesting transfer market. Any striker will be linked to Chelsea. And in a way, it's a good thing because it makes our deal with Haaland not look so desperate. And that's the only reason I embrace it. But in all honesty, what Chelsea need to really break in, Chelsea Football Club is already a super club. But what it needs to stamp that is a marquee striker, somebody who is a goal scorer. At the moment, the best person that fits this club is Erling Haaland. So, you know, Martinez, great link, but we should keep our eye on the prize.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I mean, I think Martinez would definitely be a player worth looking at. You should the plan A kind of players fizzle out and not happen. In regards to this comment by Harun, listen, mate, Azpilicueta does need a bit of rest. Azpilicueta has been a brilliant servant for Chelsea, especially last season. Last season, the performances Azpilicueta put in, the amount of game time Azpilicueta had, I was not expecting it and I was not predicting it, and I didn't think he would be able to continue playing at that level. With his age and in his position. I mean, he was playing as a right wing back with Reece James behind him as a centre back for a good chunk of the season, especially towards the end of the season. So Azpilicueta did put in a good performance. He put in a good shift. I agree. He does need a rest. Next season, he won't be able to do all of that at that same level and that same degree. Would we be saying that Hakimi would be chipping in? No, I don't think Hakimi will be chipping in. I think Hakimi and Reece James will be dominating those positions. I think Azpilicueta will be chipping in. Keep in mind one more thing though, in regards to Azpilicueta. Azpilicueta doesn't only play on the right hand side; he can play on the left as well.
Exactly.
So maybe if Emerson and Alonso bow out and go to different clubs, then Azpilicueta may still have to put in a shift on the left-hand side of the park to help out with Ben Chilwell. Bobby, do you have anything to add to that?
Yes, I really do. One thing we forget, you see, and this shows why we need strength in depth and we need these players. People forget that, in a way, misfortune can be the mother of success. Aspi missed primarily the first half of the season last season. He did not play. And I think it helped him for the later half when he did play. Because he was rested, he was fresh, he was motivated, he was able to go. And even then, there was the odd game that he missed and so on. So I see it being no different. There are some players that may not start the season. And I just hope Chelsea fans don't start panicking, especially after the internationals. Some players may have a slower appearance in the first team than others. But it's a long season. Even Rudiger had missed most of the first part of the season, and see how he ended it. So we need to be patient. We need to believe in the squad. And more importantly, we need to have the squad. Because believe you me, the likes of Man City, Man United, and the top teams in Europe will have a squad, formidable squads. And that's our competition.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Richard, thanks for the comment, mate. I've seen you in the chat quite a few times over the past few weeks. So I appreciate your support, and I appreciate you for being here. In regards to your comment, I agree. We don't need a Lautaro Martinez. We need a Erling Haaland. 100% with you on that. But at the same time, I think we need to have a backup. It's all good, going for this guy, and I think we should do everything we can to secure the Erling Haaland signature. Well, if it doesn't go through for whatever reason, if things go sour, we do need to have a backup. And we can do a lot worse than Lautaro Martinez. So there is another school of thought, saying, look, if we don't get Erling Haaland, let's wait, until the next season and look at our options. Havertz can do a role in there. Maybe Giroud, maybe Tammy, etc., etc. I'm not with that, because I think, and from what I've read today as well, in regards to Giroud has reached an agreement with AC Milan. It does look like AC Milan and Giroud will be pairing up next season. So we don't really have a plan B apart from Havertz and Tammy, and I think Tammy is also going to be going. So Lautaro Martinez would make sense as a plan B. Bobby, any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, it's obvious. Do you know the funny thing about this Haaland thing? Right from the beginning, even before we got to this stage now, even when the season was still on and the Erling Haaland thing was floating around, every which way I looked at the strikers available, all roads led to Erling Haaland for Chelsea. He has got to simply be our number one target. But having said that, yes, you're quite right. If the unthinkable happens, we need a plan B. And to settle for someone like Lautaro Martinez is not necessarily a bad idea. I don't really do second bests, because that always leaves you a bit deficient. And when things go wrong, you never really feel happy. But it's good. I like the link. I don't want to get him, but I like the link because I think it helps the deal. It takes away the look of desperation. And I know we are desperate. We are desperate. We need Haaland. But, it takes it away a bit. It shows that we do have options. And, Havertz, I think he will really start to come to his own next season. So we can't discount him as a second, another striking option. I'm hoping, and I believe Werner will get better. I believe the likes of Pulisic will get better in terms of finishing. So it doesn't look bad, but we still need that Haaland. So
Sure. I'm going to talk about the second part of my thumbnail, which is Abramovich breaking the bank, in a minute. Before I do that, though, I want to talk about Erling Haaland. Now, we addressed Achraf Hakimi and the impact he would have on the team in regards to players that are around him and around his position. We agree that it's going to be a positive impact. I think Achraf Hakimi will be able to give Chelsea a new avenue, a new dimension in regards to his playing style, positioning, and also availability in regards to him and Reece James switching and interacting in the different positions. Will cause our oppositions a lot of headaches next season. Now, Achraf Hakimi coming is a positive aspect in regards to Reece James, in regards to the other players in that position. Erling Haaland coming to Chelsea. What impact will Erling Haaland have in regards to specifically Timo Werner? Would the arrival of Erling Haaland see Timo Werner's playing time diminish, or will it see Timo Werner's playing time not impacted in any way, shape, or form? I have a point of view on this, but I'll let you speak to it, Bobby. Then I'll jump in with my point of view.
I reckon Timo has been fortunate to play as often as he has. I think perhaps he's been played a bit too much for my liking, especially when we have had strikers sitting on the bench waiting for him to find some form. But that's passed, and with Erling Haaland, definitely with the amount of investment that will have to go into bringing him into Chelsea, he's not coming here to sit on the bench for anybody. So Timo's appearances will be affected a little bit. There'll be times they'll play together. We can do all sorts of things with him. There's times he'll play with Havertz. There's all sorts of permutations. But whether Timo will be starting game in, game out like he did this season, I very much doubt it. There's no need for it, actually, because Timo's a fit boy. He's a young boy. But as I keep saying, the number of games, the sheer number, he's going to have enough start appearances. And certainly he'll come off the bench as well a couple of times.
Mm-hmm. You see, I see it differently. I don't think Erling Haaland coming to Chelsea is going to impact Timo Werner in any way, because I think Timo Werner, playing as a striker, he's shown that he's not really all about that. He's more of an inverted forward, and then a wide 10, an inverted winger. That's where he seems to have more success, because finishing is not his strong point. Passing is not too bad. His pace is very good. So I think having Erling Haaland in the team will help Timo Werner a lot, because I think that pressure of having to score, he'll be relieved of that pressure. He will not be the one we're looking at to score. Erling Haaland will be the one we're looking at to score. Therefore, him not being able to score isn't going to be a problem. Him assisting, him getting fouled in the penalty box, him getting an opportunity for someone else to score is what we're going to be expecting from Werner. And I think he can do that. I think he's done that this season. And the fact that pressure will be relieved of him, maybe he will be able to score more goals, because we've seen him score goals when he's offside. We've seen him score goals when there's no pressure on him, because it isn't going to count. He seems to bang it in. But when it does count, he doesn't do it. So maybe Werner has a problem mentally when it comes to being pressured into scoring, and the fact that he is not going to have that pressure next season, because of the fact that Erling Haaland will be the one tasked with scoring those goals. I think it would relieve him, and it would enable us to play him more often. I think there may be an impact in regards to the other positions in respect to Erling Haaland. I think Havertz, Mason Mount, Hakim Ziyech will be more impacted by Haaland than the rest, because Havertz will have to drop back. Havertz can't play in that false 9 position. So you're going to be playing Havertz as a 10, which means who do you play with Havertz? You play Mount. Does that mean Ziyech is pushed out wide? Does that mean Ziyech is going to have to adapt to a different position? But I think Haaland will not impact Timo Werner, but he will impact other players. I have with us Tom, and I have with us Boogeyman. Tom, how are you?
Yeah, I'm fine, mate. How's you?
I'm good. Welcome to the stream, Tom.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me anyway.
Cheers. Boogeyman, how are you, Boogeyman? Boogeyman, can you hear me? You're on mute, Boogeyman. You're on mute.
Yeah, I can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I want to give you two a chance to recap on the topics we've discussed so far before we continue moving forward. I'm going to give you guys an opportunity to give me your point of view on these two aspects. We've talked a little bit about both Achraf Hakimi and Erling Haaland. And if Chelsea were to secure their signings and bring them to the club, what impact would they have on the players who are in those positions, i.e. Reece James, in regards to Achraf Hakimi, Azpilicueta, Livramento, in regards to Achraf Hakimi, and in regards to Erling Haaland, the people up front, Timo Werner, Havertz, and the rest of the lads. So I want to give you and Tom the opportunity to give me your points of view on both of those aspects. I'll start with Tom, since this is his first time on the stream. Unless this is transfer Tom. Is this transfer Tom?
Transfer Tom, yeah.
Yeah, I thought I recognized that voice. Yeah, so transfer Tom. If you can give me your thoughts on this, then I'll move to Boogeyman.
Yeah. Well, I think a lot of opinionated because I think it would be where Hakim would probably fit in the team. Like you've said about Azpilicueta and Reece James, I think really in terms of down your whole right hand side, I think you're pretty much covered even for wide players and for width in terms of your wingers and stuff at Chelsea. So I wouldn't necessarily say Hakimi should be a player you're going for. I think if you're going to get a player like that, it's probably a good time to do it because Inter need money. So you can probably get a decent deal out of it if that's the reasons for Chelsea obviously doing it, and it's obviously a player that Tuchel wants. Otherwise, there wouldn't be all this hullabaloo and talk around getting him. But I think really for Chelsea, I think the main focus should be getting that striker in, because I think if you come to the end of the window and Chelsea don't get that world-class striker that they've been saying for a while that they've wanted to get in, this isn't something that's just come up after one season or so. Chelsea haven't probably had a proper striker since players like Costa left the club, since players like Didier Drogba left the club. Morata didn't really fill the boots. Giroud's not filled the boots. And your main advertisement, and your main marketing really to attract players to the club has been that Champions League success. Adding a player like you've said about Haaland and stuff up into that front line, who will bring you, 20 plus goals a season, bring a lot more players into play, and being able to adapt your style and stuff would probably change Chelsea's ambitions, should we say, throughout the season, because I think then you would possibly challenge for the league title. And the team, how you've got it obviously set up now, squad depth's never been a problem for Chelsea, I don't think. It's always just been key players in key areas. The goalkeeper was a situation, the striker's been a situation for a while now, and if you can just get, I think personally, if you can just get that striker over the line this summer, and if it was Erling Haaland, I don't think you would hear a lot of Chelsea fans who would be moaning and groaning that you missed out on a player like Hakimi if you go out there and get Haaland. But that's just my opinion and my thoughts on that.
Cheers, Tom. Lads in the chat, is the audio clear? Because I'm getting a little bit of feedback. I'm not sure if it's just my headset or if there's a problem with the audio. So in the chat, lads, let me know if the audio is clear. Boogeyman, what's your thoughts on both of these two transfers, and in regards to the impact they will have on the team?
Yeah. So thanks for having me tonight. Anyway, so regarding Hakimi, I think it can only bring good things to Chelsea because that position, Azpilicueta is getting a little older. I think he's a 30-plus year at this point. And as much as Aspi is really fit and really competitive, he needs a really good quality challenger for that position. It's approximately what we saw between JT and Gary Cahill. Like there was some sort of Cahill was 24 years old, or I think 23 when he came to Chelsea, where John Terry is going close to the end. At that time, John Terry was not finished. He is still the captain, really. But you can see the transition. I think Hakimi can be a proper transition for Azpilicueta. When it comes to Reece James can play in between those three centre back, the left, I think, the left, the right side, or be as a wing back. So I don't think that really changed anything for those two, as it's just bringing more quality to that side of the pitch. And on the other side, we have Ben Chilwell. And the other thing I think I learned today by listening to your podcast is Hakimi can play both positions, like both sides. He can play left and right. So sometimes we all complain about the fact that Alonso is not that good, or if Benchwell is injured, then Hakimi can play that position. Azpilicueta is still there. So I don't think I think Hakimi signing will make a lot of sense. But it's really a plus to our team at this point. And it showed me the thing I like about it. I'm pretty sure you pretty know that about me. Anyways, I'm the one of the person that would like Tuchel to keep the same system. So that system lead us to the Champions League final, and we won it. So I would like him to play the 3 at the back, 5 defense. So I think the fact that they're chasing a guy like Hakimi just show us Tuchel believe in that system, and he think he can still use the same system and buy proper player that can bring more for our attack. So I'm happy about it. When it comes to Haaland, what is to say? We say pretty much we've seen everything. Haaland coming. Bobby has said it may limit Timo Werner time. Yeah, that's true. But I also agree with you when you say actually we haven't seen the best of Timo, because Timo in fact was signed because he's a 20+ goal scorer per season. That's the reason why we signed Timo. So maybe by having a proper scorer like as a Haaland in front scoring goal, it released a lot of pressure of Timo. And we know also Timo tend to rush. Why bring rush into those players? It's because they're under pressure. If that pressure is taken away from him, he may not be rushing, and we may see a better of Timo. So whether we have a limitation of time, like reduce, whether Van Havertz has a reducing playing time or whatever, I don't think it hurt anybody at that time, at this time, because they all play. We see Havertz is a prone injured. He's always, not always, but he was injured. Ziyech was injured sometime, and what's his name again? Captain America CP10, Christian Pulisic was also injured sometime. So Haaland, when he was at Dortmund, I haven't heard Haaland been injured. So Haaland playing for us is only positive, and we have pretty young team also. They have time to build their physical, build their mental and build everything. If there's a lot, and we don't rely on only one or two, like we're not gonna use Pulisic when he's half injured. We don't want it. That's the whole thing. So I think those two people coming to Chelsea does not affect any other player in any sort of way. If not, if you want me to be more positive, I think is a better thing for them at this point for me. Until we see what.
Yeah, no, and another aspect in regards to Hakimi, we have to also keep in mind is Hakimi can play as a winger, both left and right. So he can not only bolster us in regards to the defensive aspect.
Yeah, so that confirms the fact that.
But what I'm trying to say is this: in regards to Achraf Hakimi, he will add options rather than take options away. Erling Haaland, on the other hand, because that position, we have tried to use makeshift players in that role, in regards to Havertz and whatnot. Those players will have to readjust. So Havertz will not be playing as a false 9 or as a 9. Havertz will be playing as a 10. He'll be going back, and that is going to affect the other players. I just want to bring in Julius for a little bit. Julius, welcome to the stream. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Julius, when did you join the stream? Have you heard of the topic so far, or have you like caught just the back end of it? I mean,
I haven't. The first.
Okay. Yeah. Julius, what I'm trying to figure out is this: in regards to these players coming in, because I'm reading a lot of articles, I'm reading a lot of tweets and reports on social media that these guys could be, well, not these guys, this guy, Achraf Hakimi, could have a negative impact on the career development of Reece James. Because, him coming in, is he going to take Reece James' position? Is Reece James going to be a backup to Hakimi? Is Hakimi going to be, the main wing back? So I wanted to get, the different perspective of the guys in regards to that. So how do you see Achraf Hakimi and how do you see Reece James playing together next season?
I think Hakimi is going to be a very good signing because he recently said on a conference that he likes the wing back position a lot. He also is comfortable playing as a winger, so I think he will add a lot of flexibility tactically for Tuchel as well to use during the games. He could be a good rotation between him and Reece James. And if you look at it, if you look at City, for example, because they have been the benchmark for the past couple of years, having depth is important. Seeing Azpilicueta is getting older as well, he may not be as good as he used to be in the next year or so. So having a 22-year-old with the quality and the skills that Hakimi has is always going to be a positive addition to the squad. Also, you have to take into consideration, not long ago he was playing with Haaland, and I kind of have a feeling that the link with Hakimi and the eagerness to sign Hakimi has something to do with Haaland as well being our target, because maybe maybe Chelsea and maybe Tuchel are thinking long term that, you know what, maybe we can buy both and set them to play together because they have a great chemistry already. So I personally agree that Hakimi would be a great addition to the squad.
Bobby, sorry, not Bobby, Boogeyman, I cut you off a minute ago. Do you want to continue your point?
Oh yeah, the fact that you add that Hakimi is also can play also a winger. So I still don't think that we're buying Hakimi to play winger. We buy him pretty much to be a defender and a counter-attacking defender. I think that will be the main thing. The reason why we're trying to get Hakimi. So at the end of the day, I just think we have so much game coming to us. And there's so many of our players going to AFCON. I think Hakimi is also from Morocco or something like that, right? So,
yes.
So Hakimi and Ziyech are gone. We have a goalie that is gone. So I think having Hakimi doesn't really put any pressure onto Reece James and Aspi, because they have time to make that position theirs if that's their intention. But Hakimi will come from AFCON, and Hakimi will be the one challenging for that position. If he is actually that good, he will take it. If he's not good, he will be coming in and coming out until we loan him to, because he's 22 also, until we loan him out. So that will be my perspective. I don't think any of Chelsea actual players should be worried about Hakimi coming. And when it comes to Haaland, I still don't believe that Havertz's game time will be considerably reduced. I just think those kids, they're all 22-21. They will get injured. They will have to build their physical back. They will get injured. They have to build their health back. So it will take time. They're not all N'Golo Kante. Even N'Golo Kante get injured. So that's all I can say at this point.
Yeah, no. It's definitely going to be interesting. I wanna put it out there that we may lose another player to the African Cup of Nations. It might be Callum Hudson-Odoi, who changes his nationality and play for Ghana, which is quite an interesting topic, to be honest, because he's out there right now on holiday, and he's eligible under the FIFA regulations. He is eligible, and he still has the opportunity to do to change. So if he does do that, it's going to be very interesting in regards to African Cup of Nations. I'm going to talk a little bit about the players going out, and Callum Hudson-Odoi is one of those players I'm going to be talking about in a minute. But before we talk about that, the breaking the bank aspect that Abramovich could be doing, and I'm going to bring in Bobby on this first. Bobby, Abramovich, his club has just won the Champions League. Chelsea are the champions of Europe. The champions of Europe. That's what we are. That's what we've achieved this season.
Yeah.
So Chelsea do have a lot of money that they are able to spend in this transfer window. Yeah. I think these two players these two players, both Achraf Hakimi and Erling Haaland, we're looking just north of £200 million. Now, I think the £200 million budget was probably put in place regardless of whether we won the Champions League or whether we just got to the final.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we have this budget, I think there is still more that we can be doing. Do you see Abramovich going for a few more signings on top of these two? I know we are talking about a DM, possibly Declan Rice, but I'm talking even further than that, because I'm thinking maybe we could be going for 3 players definitely, 4 maybe, 5 potentially. Where do you see Abramovich's expenditure this season? I'm going to start with Bobby, then I'll go to Boogeyman, and then I'll go to Julius as well. I'll give you all a chance to comment on this.
Yeah, I mean, just like Rob said, Chelsea are very cash rich at the moment. And not only did they have an initial budget, as you said, in and around the 200 million mark, there are other sources of revenue that they have managed to obtain, which is beefing that up. And if you remember, a lot of our discussions in the past, we had estimated that Chelsea's budget would be, although they would never come out and say it, but don't be surprised if their budget is going to be in excess of about £250 million, which means that they can get Haaland, they can get Hakimi, and they can probably get Declan Rice as well. There's going to be 3 big signings coming in, and there needs to be at least a goalkeeper or 2. That's where I see Chelsea's business. I don't think they're going to do anything with the defense unless a defender goes, because, as Rob said last night, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And it's certainly not broke. So at the moment, we are in a very, very good position. It's not always been like that. It may not always be like that, although the more successful we are, especially if we sustain success, the coffers will continue to grow, more especially when fans start coming back into the stadium. So we're looking at about 250 upwards. Now, I am old enough to remember the time the first £1 million player, Trevor Francis, was bought, and the whole world and his wife went mad. Everybody was pulling out their hair thinking that, there's been football robbery taking place. Now, it's common. It's a common thing. So, Roman he's not a follower. He's a leader. He takes Chelsea, to novelty. Chelsea are always the trendsetters in nearly everything they do. And I believe, I just believe he is quite ready to spend 150 million on Haaland if he has to. I just believe that.
Yeah. Julius? Julius, can you hear us?
Yes.
Yeah. Abramovich and his budget. Do you think we're going to be spending, in excess of 250? Will we be getting 3, 4, 5 players maybe? What's your prediction on this?
I think we should, and I think he will. One of the biggest reasons is, if you look back, when we won titles under great managers, the following season we always had a crap transfer window, and we ended up dropping down. We haven't won a back-to-back league in a long time. Now we won the Champions League. We have a young squad. We have a great manager. I think Abramovich is a smart man, and he knows that this is the right time to build a legacy, because we have the foundation, which is a combination of academy players and great young talents that we acquired last summer. Now, if we spend 250 million on 3 players that are world class, that could actually set up the road for great success in the next couple of years. Haaland is a must if we want to win the league next year. and the rest could be just addition to kind of deepen the depth in the squad to compete on multiple fronts. So yeah,
I'm so sorry, Julius, if I can. And also 3 young players, all under the age of 23.
Mm-hmm.
It's a fantastic investment, even at that price.
Exactly.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no, of course, no, absolutely. 20-year-old Haaland, 22-year-old Hakimi. I think Declan Rice is 21 or 22 as well. Unbelievable if we get these 3. Now, I don't know if we logically or realistically, I mean, if we can get all of them at once, we have to see. But if we can get 2 of them, unreal. Verratti is another option that is cheaper than Declan Rice, which I really like as well. We are the future is bright. Let's put it this way. And
I'm thinking that 3-4 transfers coming in this window is very, very likely. Boogeyman, Abramovich, is he going to break the bank? Is he going to set a new record?
Yeah. See, I've seen a lot of optimism around here. Let me put water in them a little. My point, I know Abramovich will do the best. He's a billionaire. But I think we're also trying to be in the financial fair play rules also. So because of COVID, the cash is there, but you have to have an entry to spend the money. So I don't think we won the Champions League and then it brought us, what, 70 million pounds or something approximately. And I don't really think we will be going after 3 major signings. I think Haaland and Hakim bring us all the way to 150. And even Haaland, I think we will buy Haaland, but it's not going to be 150. It's going to be like a deal, like we bought it for 100 million. And then he stayed with them, and we got it next year, something like that. Because the reason why I'm saying that is the Bayern sporting director was saying last time that they are interested in Haaland, and the price right now is around 120 million euro. And because of the COVID situation, no club in Europe, and with the financial fair play, should be able to afford that. That's what the Bayern sporting director say. So for that reason, they will just keep using Lewandowski for the next 2 or 3 years because Lewandowski doesn't seem to slow down also. So they're not really in a rush. And next, maybe they will monitor the Haaland situation. That's what Bayern's saying. So because I kind of read in a few months before that Chelsea is always trying to be in that financial fair play. I don't think all those crazy, I think we have the cash, but again, we'll try to be in that financial fair play. So we won't be going too crazy. Like if we sign Haaland, I don't think Declan Rice is coming. If we sign Haaland and Hakimi, I think that will be enough. Unless we sell like 3 or 4 our players, then we go after someone else. But it's not really likely. So that's all I want to say. And sorry for being negative again.
No. You're not negative, mate. Listen, points of view are points of view. Whether they're positive, whether they're negative, it depends on the point of view it is. So I'm happy to get your feedback. In regards to this comment by Sid Shadow, apparently there is still something going on behind the scenes in respect to this. Chelsea are looking at a centre back. From what I've heard, Chelsea are looking at a centre back. How much is they going to pay? Who they're looking at is still a little bit. The information is still a little bit iffy. But in regards to Soulé, I think there is still something happening behind the scenes. We'll have to wait and see for more details in the future. But there is something going on. Exactly what? I'm not 100% sure yet. I will let you know as soon as I know. Alex, welcome to the stream, my man.
Oh, good, Baggy. How are you guys?
Yeah, man. Welcome. Listen, Alex. We are in a very good position. We have just won the Champions League. We have a good number of players potentially being sold this transfer window, which we're going to cover after this segment. We're going to talk about the players going out. Now, in regards to financial fair play, we are looking good. We are looking able to get some transfers in this season, some big names. Do you think Abramovich is going to go the extra mile and bring in those big names that we need, or do you think we're going to get in maybe one big name and the rest are going to be just above average kind of players? You know,
Look,
what do you see the transfer window? How do you see it going?
Look, man, I think we all think. I think the Chelsea board know that we have to get a striker, so I think they're going to go all out for a striker. I think that's the main priority for now. You know, go and get Haaland. Go and get these players because, you know, this is the right time to invest. I think they know themselves. I think hopefully they know themselves that they can see the way the surrounding of other clubs are going. You know, Man City are kind of coming to the end. Like a lot of their players are aging, same as Liverpool. Man United are rebuilding, so this is the opportunity for. And also, like if you look at our squad, there's a good balance. And if you maybe even bring a bit more youth and bring some players in, we could really, you know, hit the nod on the right time to buy the right players at the right time to then dominate for like a decade. Like this could be a decade if Chelsea in the next 2-3 years get their business right and maybe find the right manager. This could really be a decade because I can just see it happen because we just have a lot of more younger players and experienced players still in the squad. And well, this bit, I guess this summer is going to be interesting, isn't it? It's just going to be on and off. You know, it's going to be. I guess the good thing that to think about is Haaland. He's not going to the Euros, so him not go to the Euros, it's a bit easier in a way. Like Chelsea can do the business behind closed doors whilst the Euros are happening for Haaland because he's not playing, which is actually quite nice because he'll be away on holiday and things can be sorted out more quietly. Whereas maybe other transfers and for the likes of if we were going for like well, actually Hakimi, I don't think Morocco not going to even. Morocco aren't in the Euros, so it's going to be interesting. And for me, I just want to say something with Hakimi, man. Hakimi, I would love him at Chelsea. I would actually absolutely love him. I think he would bring so much quality to our team. He'll make our team even more, you know, we would be so hard to fall out. You know, we would always make teams think twice about who we're going to play. And I like that. You know, I don't want teams to always think, okay, he's playing, this guy's playing. And look, we have over 64 games in a season, right? We have so many games in a season. Bringing him in is going to improve the squad, even make more competition for Reece James. And even look, he can also play as the left back. He's quite versatile. And let's say Alonso and Emerson maybe leave this summer. The only really fullbacks we only have at the club at the moment would be Azpilicueta, Ben Chilwell, and Reece James. And the last point I would say on Hakimi is like, I'm actually not surprised that we linked him because, you know, we have been playing this 3-back formation and maybe Tuchel sees that Reece James going back into that kind of position as a kind of the right of the centre backs and having Hakimi play on the right wing. And look, man, Hakimi, he's brilliant. Like, he can beat players. You know, he's a bit better at that than Reece James. He can beat players and he's young. You know, he is. You know, he can still come to Chelsea, not have this best season, the first season, and still have time to develop. You know, and look, man, we have a. Though, you know, the thing is, I'm not worried, and literally, I'm saying this, I'm not worried for the players that we're gonna get in this summer flopping, because I know we have the right manager under our hands. Because I think this manager is gonna look what he's done with these players that we've had in our club. The way he's improved Christensen, Rudiger, and all these other players. Ben Chilwell's improved massively since Tuchel came in. You know, and he's gonna improve the players that are gonna come into our squad, new players in our squad. So I'm excited for that, and it's gonna be a crazy summer.
Becky, I really want to throw something into the mix here, which sort of lends to the idea that we must have a big squad next season. We have a big squad anyway, but strength in depth is crucial.
Hold on for 1 second. Keep that thought. Don't lose your chain of thought. I'll come back to you just after I address this comment. This is a very good comment by Ilyas. Ilyas is saying that we need to buy Erling Haaland before Man United buy Sancho. Now there is a reason behind that, and I know why he's getting at. But Borussia Dortmund selling Sancho, getting a good chunk of cash for him would make it what's the word here?
Reluctant.
Less likely to sell Erling Haaland this window because they have made financial gains, and for them to also want to sell two of their big players in one window. With them having to compete with the Champions League next season, so they may be a little bit more hesitant to do that, and that's the whole idea. And by the way, Jadon Sancho had an interview today where he declared his love for Chelsea Football Club, and so yeah. Sorry, Bobby, continue, mate. Sorry for cutting you off. I just wanted to address that comment. Go ahead, Bobby.
Yeah, actually, just briefly on that comment. There's no amount of money that's too much money, really, for a sort of selling club like Dortmund. And they do have a ready replacement for Haaland anyway. They've got this other player that's been ripping up trees, and I'm sure will only be too grateful to be starting. But coming back to my point about the strength in depth, the potential to play, I think, as many as 68 games in a club season next season is there for Chelsea. And this doesn't include the internationals that these players will be playing. Many of these players are going to need rest time. So I'm not really worried about bringing in stars in certain positions, especially when they're young and they're top rate like Hakimi, because they can't displace anybody. Even those stars themselves are going to need rest. Yeah. And the other point I was going to throw in the mix is that we look at these deals, and yes, I think we're all 100% agreed that the pursuit of Haaland should be top of the list. And definitely, we need to look for a goal poacher, a world-class goal poacher as a priority. Yes, and I'm sure the club is doing that. But you see, the scheduling of deals is not compartmentalized. And the activation is rampant. So you find that with 2 or 3 deals popping up, you have to address them. So that's why you find the club doing different deals that seem to be at the same time, because they've got to be at the same time. Yes, we've got to get the Haaland deal done quickly, so we're working on that, but there are lull periods in between. And then we also have to get the Hakimi deal done quickly, because we have a competitor also going for that. And then we're talking perhaps to West Ham at the same time, looking for an opportunity to seal anything for Declan Rice. And we're looking for a goalkeeper, and we're trying to play sell players. Now, all this only has a window of time to be done, and that's why it looks like we're not focusing on the main target. I'm totally convinced that we are, but we can't. We need to multitask. We can't just focus on one thing.
We'll end up missing out on other players. It's that. Remember that it's like this season when we tried to get Lukaku and then we ended up getting Morata, and we didn't really have the best transfer window because we got Morata, but then we didn't really get. We got Bakayoko instead of getting Fabinho. We got these. We didn't really profit from us win the league that year, and
we went down
this summer.
Down Plan B kind of route, so get Plan A players. No, I agree with you there, Alex. Yeah. I want to bring in Stav. Stav, how are you? Stav, you're on mute. 1 second, I'll unmute you.
I've done it.
All right, sweet. How you doing, Stav?
I'm fine, thanks.
I haven't seen on the stream for a while, mate. I hope you're good.
No, I've just been in the chat below.
Stav, I'm going to give you 5 minutes to recap on the things that you've heard so far. And then we're going to talk about the outgoings, the players being transferred out. So give me your thoughts on Hakimi, give me your thoughts on Erling Haaland, Abramovich, and then we'll continue.
Right, I've heard everything everybody said. In response to Boogeyman, We've earned roughly 105, 110 million euros from the Champions League, but we've been docked 5%, and we've had to pay a fee as punishment to grassroots football, which is applied to all the English teams that try to go into the Super League. I hate to be on a negative here, but financial fair play has not finished. It's still there. The only change to financial fair play is that where previously you could spend 30 million over the 3-year period of accounting, that's owners could spend 30 million. And even then it was only to service debts, right? That doesn't finish till 2022-23 season. So it still applies to this coming season, right? All they've done is they've allowed it to be over 2 years instead of 3 to help with COVID, right? FIFA, UEFA have had to have a discussion with the EU and that to make sure that anything they bring in instead of financial fair play complies with UEFA with EU regulations. They have to approach all the FAs in December, and they have to lay out the new replacement, and all those associations then lay it out to all their clubs, and it has to be agreed by everyone. By no means believe that there's not going to be something in place, and clubs like Bayern Munich and the other clubs who've been moaning about countries owning clubs, etc., are not going to just give it up easily. I'm not saying it's going to be financial fair play. It will be a system which allows the owners to put more money in, but there's still going to be limitations. But as it stands, there are still limitations. So we have to account for the money that we spend. Last year, we all know, we sold Morata, Luis, Callas, Pasalic, Palmer, long list of lads, right? And we generated the money we spent, right? That was the money we spent was generated by sales. So far this season, you've got the Champions League money, you've got the Tomori, which is probably is going to go through. On top of that, we've sold Pison. We did that in January. There's Moses has been sold, and then you've got Kennedy and
Zappacosta.
Yeah, but Zappacosta's it's more difficult.
I think he might be loaned out rather than sold.
Zappacosta is still on cost. He's on loan, right?
Yeah, but Ugbo and Kennedy, the club is in discussions to move them on with Watford and Grenada.
Sam, I'm going to cut you off for a second because I want you to lead us into the next segment. I want you to also incorporate your thoughts on Callum and Ruben Loftus-Cheek to Lazio. So give me your thoughts on those two as well.
I think Ruben Loftus-Cheek will go on loan. I think he needs it because I don't think playing out of position at Fulham really helped him to get back to what he was. So it's possible he needs it. Although I'd like to see him come back. But I think at the moment, as it stands, Gallagher is probably ahead of him. Rumours have started that Billy wants to go out on loan. So I don't know how that's going to work. With regards to Haaland, so far we bought young players last season who have a sell on value. If we have to pay 150 million and we can generate the cash now, I'd do the deal now, because if we leave it till next season, there's going to be more competition. Other clubs might woo him as well. But if he's really as keen as people are saying out, I'd do it now, because he'll stay 5, maybe 6 years, and he'll move on to Spain, and you'll get the money back because he's still only going to be 25, 26. So the extra 75 million, if we do pay that, you'll get back. And then at the end of the day, all you're doing is basically paying his wages which you spread over the course of his contract. The transfer fees, same. You can spread it over the course. That's why Kepa was on a 7-year contract, so he could spread the fee over 7 years.
What about Hakimi? What's your thoughts on Hakimi?
To be honest with you, I've only really watched him when he's played for Morocco, and I watched him because, and I saw some games with Dortmund, and that was because I was watching Ziyech play for Morocco, and they do combine well. So there's another plus point. If Ziyech's staying, you've got him. He's played with Haaland. If we get him, and he's played with Ziyech, they're best mates as well. Same language, everything, settling in together. And he can only help Ziyech settle down as well if he's still a bit itchy. I don't want to sell anybody in the current squad other than the ones that are not going to be playing at all. The ones we've already mentioned.
I wanna address Ziyech later on because there's more talk about Ziyech being unsettled. There's more talk about Ziyech.
I've seen it.
To AC Milan, and a €7 million a year contract, etc. So there's a lot of talk about that. We'll address that towards the end because I think a lot of that is just paper fillers. But I wanna address the Ruben Loftus-Cheek to Lazio because apparently Maurizio Sarri is keen on getting him there. And I want to hear Julius's point of view, and then we'll go to Bobby, Boogeyman, and we'll come back to Stav. Julius, what do you think about Maurizio Sarri's interest in Ruben Loftus-Cheek? Is this paper talk, or is there something to that?
I think there is something serious behind it. Was it on a loan, or was it like a permanent deal?
No, apparently it's a permanent deal. Apparently it's a permanent deal. A sale. Apparently.
I think because of his medical history, I remember he had back issues as well, other than his Achilles as well. He's not getting any younger. It's a shame that Ruben Loftus-Cheek couldn't have a proper kickstart for his career at Chelsea, because I think he is one of the most skilled academy players I've seen. I actually believe this guy could be the next Yaya Toure, to be honest with you. He has all the elements. It's just his injuries held him back. So I could see it happening, and I think it could be a good thing for his career. I don't mind it, because I can't see him breaking into that squad with us next season.
Yeah. I'm disappointed in the way that his career has gone. From being such a player with such high potential to having it all get thrown away because of a friendly match. It's very disappointing. But Ruben Loftus-Cheek is definitely a player that has it. But does he? Can he still find it and bring it back? Bobby, what's your thoughts on the Ruben Loftus-Cheek situation, mate?
Yeah, like you, and I would believe, nearly every Chelsea fan, it leaves a bitter taste in your mouth, especially when you think of how, relatively unnecessary that injury was for a stupid friendly. But, we have had, I didn't know it was a permanent deal. I was always under the impression that the Lazio interest was for a loan. I'm not sure they could even afford to buy him. I don't know yet.
It is actually a loan.
Yeah.
Is it a loan?
Is it a loan? Okay. Yeah, which is a good thing.
I've only seen loan.
Yeah,
okay.
It's a good thing because Julius, because we have had a couple of players who have had very serious injury. They've struggled the season after the injury. Then they've gone on loan for a season and they've come back ripping up trees. For example, Zuma, it happened to him. He had a terrible knee injury. He tried to play off in a season in Chelsea. It didn't work. We loaned him to Everton. He got fit, got better, and came back stronger. I'm hoping the same will be for Ruben. In a way, it's good he goes on loan and gets fit, gets game time in the position that he's comfortable with Maurizio Sarri, who knows how to use him in that position. And hopefully he comes back stronger and fit and able to play for Chelsea. The only thing about Ruben is that, well, you know, you mentioned something about him playing out of position at Fulham didn't really help him. Yes, I guess for a player coming back to fitness, it's no good. But like with gosh, what's that winger? Ziyech. Modern football now, especially for these sort of striker type midfield type winger type players, you'll see in this coming Euros that tactics is based on a lot of flexibility of the players. Players need to be very adaptable now. So I think, first of all, Ruben needs to get fit. I can imagine him, when he comes back, doing a lot of the second striker role, false nine role, especially under somebody like Tuchel. I've heard that's very much in his thoughts. I have no evidence of that. It's just what I read. But I really hope he comes back, because I love him as a player, and I think it was the potential he had to be one of the greats would be terribly wasted if he never fulfills it.
Yeah, no, I want to address this comment by the 88th bus stop. The thought behind the game, the reasoning behind the game is one that we all support, but we didn't have to play our first team. We didn't have to play our players who just had a hectic season in that game. We could have chosen to play different players, given some of the young lads a chance in that game. No one is against why that game was set up and the reasoning behind it, but we're against it. Me personally, I don't want to speak on behalf of the rest of the guys, but me personally, I wasn't happy to see some of the players that were chosen to play that game because of the potential injuries.
And it came up before the Europa Cup final. Remember?
Yeah,
it was crazy.
Yeah.
It was such a pointless exercise in that respect to play our first team.
As a Chelsea fan, it is anti-Semitism is a sensitive topic, so I don't know how to put this out. But again, as a Chelsea fan, it was not good for us. That's for sure. That's all I can say at this point.
Yeah. I just want to put it clear: we are against all forms of discrimination, all forms of bigotry, targeting anyone for whatever reason. So I support why the game was taking place, but I don't think the players and the choices that we had were quite relevant. Boogeyman, what's your thoughts on the Ruben Loftus-Cheek situation? And guys, you can also expand on the Callum Hudson-Odoi situation as well, because that is sorry, Boogeyman, because that is a story that doesn't have as much weight or as much legs as the Ruben Loftus-Cheek one does, in regards to us being willing to let him go. But Callum Hudson-Odoi is a player that has a lot to offer, and the way that we are using him right now is a little bit of a funny one in regards to game time, in regards to development. I think the player thought he would be getting more time on that pitch, and he hasn't been doing that. So address Ruben Loftus-Cheek and Callum Hudson-Odoi, Boogeyman, please.
Yeah, thanks. Regarding Loftus-Cheek, he need a loan deal, that's for sure, because as our team looks like right now, I just don't know if we sign Haaland. I don't know where Loftus-Cheek fit in that team, and if we already a little worried about Havertz playing time. I don't know where Loftus-Cheek fit, and Loftus-Cheek had an average season with Fulham, but he need a strong full season. My only concern with Sarri is I'm not sure if Sarri will finish the season at Lazio. If Sarri I don't like player going on loan to a coach that they love, or if the coach get fired, then everything becomes shambles again. So that's my only worry. So, but I want Loftus-Cheek to actually play full season with a good team and a coach that will play him in a good position. And Sarri did it before, so I think it's a good combination at this point. Like Bobby and I think Julius also said, someone Loftus-Cheek was just one of the best. We all wish that kid succeed at Chelsea, become the captain, and all those things. Now we all hype over Mason Mount, but before it was for me Loftus-Cheek. So I wish all the best for him, and I hope he play a full season in Italy. Italy is pretty slow also, and he may find all his feet and dribble and do all those things that we know he can properly do. When it comes to Hudson-Odoi, Tuchel was saying a few days ago that we should never forget that Hudson-Odoi's job is to create, to assist, and to score. Which whether Hudson-Odoi is playing as a wing back sometime or not, his main job, if he wants to succeed at Chelsea, is score and assist and create those opportunities. It's not about running with the ball, stop with the ball, and bring it back and pass it to our defender. That's not his job. So if Hudson-Odoi is not finding game time, it's because he's not doing something Tuchel is asking him to do in the training also. And their lack of application in the training is the reason why he's not playing. For me, I've never been at any of Chelsea FC training, but that's my feelings about the fact that Hudson-Odoi, he's just happy about the money he's getting into his bank account. He's relaxed about everything, and he's not pushing. Like you see it, Reece James is pushing. He's playing. Mount is playing, pushing. He's playing. Even how do you call it? Pulisic didn't play 2 or 3 games. He was frustrated, and you can see he's trying, and he's playing now. So Hudson-Odoi has to really decide if he wants to have a future in Chelsea or not, and just put a shift in it and become a full-time Chelsea player. He is a full-time, but become a full starter. If he doesn't want to do it, let's just be honest, I'd rather him be sold. I don't mind it. I will not be complaining if today Hudson-Odoi is put on transfer list. If now he's going around saying he would like to maybe switch his allegiance to Ghana. I mean, he's a Ghanaian origin, and I applaud him. Like, if I have the opportunity to play for my country, I would play for it also. But as a Chelsea fan, it doesn't change too much. He's not the best in his position at Chelsea. So if he go to AFCON for the tournament in December, in January, I'm not gonna complain because he's not even a starter either. So I think he should be more thinking about how to regain his position at Chelsea instead of making all those noise and press. That's my take on Hudson-Odoi. I'm really disappointed when it comes to Hudson-Odoi. I thought he would be better now, but I mean he's still young though. Like you cannot blame him.
Yeah, Boogeyman, I see what you're saying. And Callum does need a little bit of guidance, in my opinion. He's a great lad. He has some great work. I know he does a lot of charity work. I know he does a lot of community work. There are certain things about being a young footballer and the money and the fame. It's always going to have some sort of an impact on you. I don't think Callum is lacking motivation in regards to his career. I think maybe he's lacking direction. Maybe he doesn't know exactly where he wants to be or where he wants to go in regards to moving forward. But I do believe he wants to be successful, and I think he will be, whether he stays with Chelsea or he moves on. Stav, what's your estimate on Callum Hudson-Odoi and also Ruben Loftus-Cheek in the near future? Do you reckon these lads will be at Chelsea? Will they be moving on? What would you see it? What do you see it?
Well, Tuchel did mention Ruben that he wanted to see him pre-season, but I think he needs to be playing regular to get back to any sort of form. I think was it Julius mentioned that he had back issues in the past. I watched a documentary about Ruben where he was interviewed, and the back problems came from the fact that he grew so quickly, and his body was expanding too quickly, and it caught everybody on the hop. So whether they're still an issue or not, I don't know. But yeah, I agree about that game, because I believe he would have definitely played in the Europa final. But I'm not against him going out on loan, because I believe he'll be watched even on loan, right? It's not like Zappa, Costa, Bakayoko, or any of that lot. They go out on loan, so we can basically get them off the wage bill for the season, and get a loan fee. But I think someone like Ruben will be watched. So I hope he comes back. But at this present moment in time, he probably is better off going on loan. With regards to Callum, I get what you're saying. I thought that people like Josh McEachran, Lewis Baker, all that type of player were going to be stars. But I've spoken to friends at Middlesbrough where they both went on loan, and they both became party boys, right, if you know what I mean. I'm hoping that Callum's not going down that road. But he does frustrate me. It's like Boogeyman said. There you go, there's a first. Me and Boogeyman agreeing. He goes down the line and then he just stops. And he drags the ball back and either goes backwards or plays it inside. I want to see him go past people. Right, actually use his pace. And he's quite a big lad as well. He's got strength. Just go past defenders and look to get that ball in the box. If we're going to be signing a top striker, he's going to have to do that more often if he's going to play. Same thing with the other players. That's what we're signing a top striker for. And you can have the world's best striker, but if you don't load his gun, right, you're still not going to score. Right. So people like Callum, Ziyech, if he stays, I know all the stories. I've seen them all. I've seen the story about him going. Then in the next breath, I've seen a story about Chelsea asking him to influence his mate Hakimi. So it's just, I don't believe anything I read. Right? It may turn out to be true in the end, but I don't see the point of letting him go, because there is something special about him, and he get on with Hakimi. He's more likely to provide ammunition for Haaland than Callum is at this moment in time.
Listen, I believe one of the factors that saw Hakim Ziyech and Havertz not have such a fantastic season this season was the fact that we didn't have a person who can convert all the chances that we're creating. Can you imagine if someone converted all the chances that Hakim Ziyech was creating, or Havertz, or Pulisic, or Callum, or Mason Mount, or any of those lads? We had a lot of chances, but we didn't have the finisher. And I think Haaland coming in this season will do that. I wanna address something that you just said also, Stav, in regards to him being a influencing factor, possibly an influencing factor on Hakimi coming to Chelsea. We had a player that played a massive part last season in convincing Havertz and Timo Werner to come to Chelsea. Yeah, Rudiger. And at the same time, in the same breath that people were saying Agent Rudiger is bringing in, his connections and helping us in getting these two lads, we should sell him next season. We don't need Rudiger. Rudiger should go there. And Rudiger has just had a blinder this season because someone showed faith in him, someone gave him an opportunity, and someone stuck with him. I mean, Rudiger didn't hit the ground running when he first started with Tuchel, and even towards the back end of Lampard's management period. But once he saw that the gaffer has faith in him, he started to perform, and Rudiger started to give us that. And I think Hakim Ziyech is like that as well. I think Hakim Ziyech, once he sees himself being able to create more chances and have someone that is able to convert. Having a player like Hakimi on his flank would help. And Hakimi also with Erling Haaland, you know, some of you guys have mentioned this. Hakimi and Erling Haaland have played together well, and you know they know how each other play. And this for me is a bonus. Don't forget Pulisic, Werner, Havertz, Hakimi, and Erling Haaland all have a Bundesliga background. So moving forward with these guys, we're gonna have some serious chemistry going forward. Lads, I'm gonna open it to everyone. So for the next 10-15 minutes, you guys can discuss anything you want to discuss. You can bring up any points you want to bring up in regards to Chelsea. So you know the floor is yours, lads.
Yeah, can I just mention something?
Go ahead.
Can I just mention something about Ziyech, right? What people need to remember is he didn't have a restart in Holland. The league just stopped. Right, he just come back because he was injured. That's why we didn't sign him in January. And Ajax wanted to keep him because they were top of the league. And he come back, played 1.5 games, and the league just stopped. Right, so for 6-7 months, he had nothing. They were out of Europe. There was no international matches. He's come back. He could have really done with a pre-season, and then goes and gets injured straight away. So it's not just settle into a new country, right? It's not just new league, new club, COVID, all that stuff, right? Different for him from Werner and Havertz is they had the German season continued, but for him it was even worse and he's had to rebuild his sharpness. And when you're in and out, I mean, people I keep reading the media, right? And the odd, shall we say, YouTuber who used the word underwhelming. What do they expect? What did they expect? Did they even look into the background of the player in the build-up to signing him and what's happened since? Right? Underwhelming.
Stan, I'm going to interrupt you for a second. I'm not sure if you're talking about the same YouTuber, but there was a YouTuber who made a video, I think it was last week, it might be last week, when the story started to kick off with Adama Traore and Achraf Hakimi, and he bashed Achraf Hakimi and he bigged up Adama Traore for the same position, okay, using the same criteria to big up Adama Traore and to shut down Achraf Hakimi. And today and yesterday he's released videos. I mean, I don't want to mention his name, but you'll know who I'm talking about. Today and yesterday he's released videos, you know, bigging up the choice that Chelsea have made to go for Achraf Hakimi, and this is the best thing since sliced bread. The contradictive, the contradictive aspects, points of view, commentary that we're seeing is ridiculous. I mean, you know, if you think Achraf Hakimi is a good player, I should say Achraf Hakimi is a good player. Don't, you know, bash him and then big him up just because Chelsea are going to go for him, and then all of a sudden he's become the next best thing. You know, stick to your guns, stick to your point of view, stick to your opinion. If you think this guy is good, this guy's good. If he's not, he's not. No.
Yeah. It's like the media, isn't it? They post stories which they think is popular. They go on the popularity of things, right? I've got friends who are Borough fans, obviously, right? And I posted the story about Traore on the Facebook page, right? And not one person on there wants him. Not one. Wouldn't touch him with a barge pole. He's inconsistent, right? He's in and out of games. There's a reason why Nuno stopped picking him as a regular. And the same thing happened to him at Middlesbrough. I don't want him. I want somebody who's world class, right? And you're not basing something on his pace and power, right? I saw Bobby as well, you to a lesser extent, probably being slightly younger. We've seen players, right, who played on the wings with pace and power. And yeah, they had dribbling skills and stuff, but defenders eventually sussed them. You know what I mean? And he's not even a wing back. He's not even a wing back. I think that's a nonsense story, right? I think it's a nonsense.
I want to address this comment by Abhishek. Listen, I will be doing some Euro 2020 content in the future. Not just yet. It's kicking off now, but I won't be able to give it time up until the group stage. So up until the knockout rounds. So hopefully by then I will be able to give you content specific to the Euros. In the meantime, I'm just focused on Chelsea transfer news up until the knockout rounds of the Euros. Bobby, I think you wanted to say something there, Bobby?
Yeah, I want to touch on something that you touched on earlier, which kind of goes into the Euros. And it's something that I think is going to be happening quite a bit going forward, simply because there is a saturation of talent in the England squad, and there's a limit to the number of players that will ever really get to play in the England squad. And this is this thing about Callum Hudson-Odoi playing for Ghana. Now, I've heard this quite a bit before, not particularly about Callum, but about several players. I've even heard from some people from Nigeria that I know saying that Tammy regrets playing for England, that he feels he would have done a lot better if he had taken the option to play for Nigeria. And certainly the French players, a lot of them, French born and bred, go and play for various African countries because the French national team is saturated, and many of them probably won't get the opportunity to
Mahrez is a good example.
To play. Sorry?
Mahrez is a good example.
Mahrez,
Mahrez,
Mendy.
yeah.
Mendy as well.
Yeah.
People like
Drogba.
Drogba, another one. People like Tammy, who I think Tammy's played for England. He's more or less brought his international career to a shuddering halt because there's no way, who's he going to displace? So it's very much on the card, and I don't think we should be surprised by these stories. And I think more and more you're going to get these things happening. I know we had people like Frank Sinclair go and play for Jamaica, although he was never really good enough for international football, but he just took an opportunity that came his way. But this won't surprise me at all. This will start to happen. And I think we may just have to embrace it and take it for what it is.
Yeah,
I'd like to add something quick if possible. So yesterday I was just kind of going through the numbers of Tuchel at Chelsea. The 11 wins, of I think 5 draw, and I think 3 losses, if I remember, and give us a total of 38 or 30 something. So if Tuchel has a full season, he will be close to 77 or something like that point, which is second in the position. So my question to you, I don't know if it is a question or not, but can we still go after the EPL, the championship, if we don't sign anything? Because it just means like Tuchel has a full season. Like half season he has. No,
Boogeyman. I think if we don't buy no one, then we will challenge, but we won't secure the title. I think we'll put it finish. Go backwards
because people start to suss you out more. You need that injection of something different to keep keep the momentum.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is if we don't buy no one, Boogeyman, we're also losing players because there are players who will be leaving the club. So by not buying no one, we're going to be weaker next season than we are this season. So maybe Bobby is right about going backwards because we will be in a weaker position. I do believe we will be getting a world-class striker. That is a must. And Achraf Hakimi, I think this is happening, lads. I think Achraf Hakimi is definitely as strong as a link as you're going to get. And I think over the next couple of days we're going to see this develop even further because both Achraf Hakimi and Erling Haaland are not in the in the Euros. They are literally just sitting down doing nothing. So negotiations are gonna happen with them and with their agents. In regards to Declan Rice, in regards to Tchouameni, in regards to another centre back, this is something that is going to be a little bit more reliant, maybe on the Euros. Maybe Chelsea is looking to see what happens in the Euros. Maybe someone, from those lower countries can show some potential, and we can go for them in regards to a DM, in regards to a centre back. But I think we will be getting the big guns in respect to Haaland and with respect to Hakimi.
Okay.
Has too many chosen a country yet?
I'm not sure. No, I don't know. I don't know.
So because the stories I read were that we would sign him if he chose France.
Yeah.
Obviously they're thinking African Nations Cup. But to me, I couldn't care less, because if you've got a top class squad with 2 in each position, right? Plus you got a B list of good youngsters as well. You can add to that, right? I don't care if there's 4 players away for the African Nations Cup, right? It doesn't bother me that, and it's like once every 2 years, so it's not that big a deal. It's no different from players having to fly all the way to America and South America to play games, like, or they might not be away for a spell, right? But if they go away for internationals and they're going to play 2-3 World Cup qualifiers, right, they still have to travel long distances. And that's another point of having a full squad, because I believe we've got 17 or 18 internationals at the Euros, right? Which is, and Pulisic played, didn't he, yesterday or last night? Right, he played in the American Nations Cup. So players are going to be going away all the time, right? And with the Nations League and soon to be expanded Champions League, you need a big squad. Simple as that. And there's nothing better than having 2 players every position, having your 11 players the manager picks, and then another 7 psychopaths on the bench, right, for the opposition to look at. That was one of the things under Mourinho, right? Teams were beaten before we played them. And I was always convinced, even if we went behind, we could win a game, because you looked at the bench, the opposition looked at the bench. So just get these players in. As I said, with Haaland, just pay the 150 million. You're going to get that back anyway at some point, right? Because he will go to Spain. He will want to try somewhere else. That kind of player does, just like Eden Hazard. Just pay it. Get it over and done with. And the same with Hakimi. Don't want to start bitching over 5-6 million, right? And then Marina's just going to have to lower the asking price for some of the players she wants to get rid of. Simple as that.
Stav, I think we learned last night that the issue with Tchouameni wasn't so much which country he wanted to play for, but that Monaco, having qualified for the Champions League,
don't want to sell.
Yeah, and they have rich owners as well. Well, they will sell him, but they've upped the price. Although it's not anywhere near the sort of Declan Rice sort of price, but it is over 30 million. So he is still gettable, but they're not as keen to offload as they were before they qualified for the Champions League. And I believe that. If not, the deal would have been done.
Yeah, I've seen that story as well, but I also saw the one that they were waiting to see what country picked. But to me, that shouldn't be an issue. If you're going to keep your squad down to 3 or 4 Africans who are going to be away every 2 years, that's not that big a deal. Not for me, anyway. Not when you have Drogba, Kalou, Essien, and Mikel away. You know what I mean? It's not like it's something new. Yeah. So if you've got a good enough, this is what Bobby was saying, get as strong a squad as you can get, right? Don't worry about backups. People will play, right? If you had all these internationals, you're talking over 70 games. Over 70 games, right? So
does Hakimi has a buyback clause from Real Madrid or anything?
No. Real Madrid messed up the Hakimi contract when they sold him. They messed it up. There's no buyback clause. There's no sell-on fee. There's no nothing. Okay,
Wow.
and they're pissed. They're pissed because they've seen Inter Milan are going to cash in on him quite well this season, and they could have had a chunk of that, but they didn't do any of that. So they are upset. They are upset, and to be honest, anything that makes Real Madrid upset makes me happy.
Me too. Me too.
And the other thing I would like to add to quick is the involvement, like the fact that Roman Abramovich seemed to be really excited about Chelsea this time wouldn't bring the old. I mean, he's investing that's his money, everything, but wouldn't bring him to force players on us like Shevchenko and the number 33 that used to. I think he's from Lokomotiv of Moscow. There's a number 33 or 22 that used to play for Chelsea. He's Zirkov. No, Zirkov. Zirkov.
Andrea.
Yuri Zirkov, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wouldn't Roman start those stuff again, like forcing us to just take players that don't have Chelsea level?
Yeah, I'm going to talk about this, Boogeyman. Before I talk about this, though, I want to ask the 48 guys in the chat, if you haven't liked the stream, please do it. And if you haven't subscribed to Baggy TV, please consider it. I would very much appreciate that. Listen. In regards to the Shevchenko signing, in regards to Abramovich trying to ask or impose certain players just because of their name, I think Abramovich has learned from that. He has learned from that, and I think the Chelsea board has learned from that, because we did that before. We did that quite a lot. We would bring in players purely for the marketing value. Today, that has stopped. Today, we want to get players that do have marketing value, but at the same time have a presence on the pitch, are able to give you success. And I think with the Haaland situation, I think we have seen that, because we could go for a cheaper option, Lukaku, and Lukaku may also have a very high degree of marketability because of his previous links with Chelsea, previous ties with Chelsea. Lukaku has got experience in multiple leagues. He has got a good presence in regards to marketability, but we didn't do that. We're going for Erling Haaland. Lukaku is a plan B maybe. Erling Haaland, though, is a player that has a lot in regards to his presence in the world media, in regards to the youth, shirt sales, marketability is there. But at the same time, Erling Haaland is a proven goal scorer with a good track record over the past few seasons. The guy is still young, so he's not had a lot in regards to experience. But this is one thing that I think Abramovich is going towards, rather than looking for the big names. I mean, for example, there was a link a few weeks back about Cristiano Ronaldo coming to Chelsea. Cristiano Ronaldo coming to Chelsea would have made a lot of sense in regards to promoting the brand, promoting the team, on a global scale, but would have made no sense in regards to the pitch, because what could Cristiano Ronaldo do that other targets, other options can't do right now? He is old. He doesn't have the footballing life in his legs for the future, but he does have the marketability, and that is the kind of thing Abramovich would have done in the past. But today he's not going to do it. He won't be doing. That's how I see it. And again, I could be wrong. We could be signing Messi. I have no idea.
Yeah. The reason why. Sorry. Yeah, Bobby, go.
The best way to market the brand is to be successful.
Brilliant.
Simple as that.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm more worried because of the Euro that is coming, and like we watch a few games and we may end up seeing like someone from Russia or someone from Ukraine that is really good and kind of average, then force on Tuchel to play or to buy him or something like that. So those are my worries.
Well, we're already being linked to people in Ukraine and Russia, aren't we?
Remember Golovin? Golovin was his name?
Yeah, but he went to Monaco, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Monaco, I think. Yeah. Right? I think he's learned his lesson, like Baggy said.
Yeah, so do I. I'm with Baggy on this one.
Even if he hasn't, and he goes and buys one, right? It's up to Tuchel, isn't it? He can just leave him on the bench, right? Simple as that, right? I don't care. If the manager's winning games and he's winning trophies, Roman's not going to turn around and go, "Oh, but I bought him and I want you to play him," right? Like I said, best marketing tool is success. That's why you have phrases like glory hunters, plastics, stuff like that. I'm not saying every club has them. Every club has them. Every successful club. There's people who support Nottingham Forest based on their 2 Champions Leagues, European Cups, right? That's the best way to build your fan base. It's the best way to sell merchandise, right? It's why they go to the US and stuff like that, right? We could have just said that that's what Pulisic, and some people did say it, right? But the guy is a player. He's a top line player, right? So anyone who wants to say it's a marketing tool, they're just being pathetic and jealous, right? I'm quite happy with the squad we've got. It just needs tweaking. 3, possibly 4 players, right? But 3 would be fine, right? But one of them has to be a striker. I accept, right? The current system that we play is okay against the better teams, right? But if you get someone come to Stamford Bridge who's going to just sit back no matter what and not come out, you can try sucking them out. But if they're just going to sit 11 men behind the ball, you have to be able to break that down as well. So I'd like to see us mix it up a bit, even system-wise. Even if he picks players. See, that's where Hakimi would come in, right? Because you could use him, right, if you want to go on to alter your system. It's the same thing with Ziyech. You can alter your system. It's the same thing with Havertz. You can alter your system, right? So just go from one to the other. Even like Bobby said the other day, right? Switch from. He said that Tuchel's clever. He's been doing it in game. But if you're going to switch in game, we really need to have a striker and more attacking players on that pitch to switch. If you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. Listen, lads, we're coming to the 2-hour mark. It's been a really, really nice discussion. I've really enjoyed it. I'm going to give you guys a minute each if you want to add something before we conclude. I'll start with Julius. He's been quiet. He's been listening. So, Julius, do you have anything to add before we conclude the stream? Julius? Okay.
It's probably muted.
Probably. You're on mute, Julius, if you can hear us. No, he might be away from the computer. Boogeyman, anything to add before we conclude?
Oh yeah, I will just say quickly, thanks for tonight again, and also big thanks for yesterday. Yesterday one was amazing also, and guess what? Thanks to you for the opportunity. And the other thing is, what it is this time to be a Chelsea fan? Like, it's just amazing. We just won the league, the Champions League, and we're the one buzzing on the transfer market right now. Hopefully, we get all the player we need, and then we keep going. It's just looking really good, like really good. Yeah, really good time to be a Chelsea fan. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, definitely, Boogeyman. Definitely, it's well lucky because we've seen Chelsea do this twice, and I have the feeling if things are going to go quite to plan, we might see them do it again in the very near future in regards to the Champions League. Bobby, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I echo that. It was a good one last night, Baggy. Just keep doing what you're doing, and you, as I keep telling you, you'd be surprised the people that are watching you. I just wish they'll subscribe though. but maybe they have their reasons. In terms of what you see, I'll end with what I started with. Good times. Times are seasonal. Right now, we're on a very, very good wave. We're in such a good position. I just want us as fans to enjoy it, to bask in the positivity of it, because as I say, these things don't last forever. People like Stav and I'm sure yourself, we have seen the rocky times at Chelsea, and that's why I think perhaps we embrace these times more than the younger fans, that this is kind of all they know, success. We are now in the Super Club bracket. We should enjoy it. I believe we're going to get even better, and we should enjoy that for as long as it lasts, because these things do go up and down, and there will come a time where it will dry up a little bit. Just look at Real Madrid, look at Barcelona. They're going through their down season at the moment.
Yeah, no, I agree. Stav, final thoughts?
Yeah, I like this format. I've not been on the last week because you know why. Because of what happened in the family. He was a Chelsea fan, indoctrinated by me from the age of about 4 or 5. So I worked the magic on him. So I dedicated personally that Champions League to him. Right? Yeah, I like this format. I can't listen to some of the YouTubers, and it gets even worse when they start doing collaborations. This is your thing, your channel, but you're doing it with fans, right? You're doing it with people who want to discuss Chelsea without the issue of making money that some of them want to do. So I'm enjoying it. The only last final thing I'd say is I don't want to go and sign people and release the wrong people, because I don't think that strengthens the squad. Right? People like Emerson, I mean, I like him, right? Alonso, right? If Callum and Tammy's going to go anyway, right? And if Callum has decided he wants to go, that's fair enough. But any of these star players we signed, right? We need to keep them, because they had a season that was the toughest ever to get through, for things we've discussed. And the fans are going to be back, and they'll start lifting them. So yeah, great times ahead. Unfortunately, we're going to have to be biting our fingernails with the silly season, right? I.e. the transfer window. With regards to the Euros, I couldn't care less, to be honest. Cyprus didn't qualify, so I couldn't care.
Yeah,
That's
no, Stav, Boogeyman, Bobby, thank you for your kind words. And in regards to the format, I am tweaking the format. I'm actually looking to bring some of those big YouTubers onto here, and hopefully to have a chat with you lot, because for me, that's what I want to see. I don't want to see this big barrier between us creators and the fans, because for me, it's all about getting involved with the fans and getting the fans involved with the team. So I am looking, and I am trying to get some of the big YouTubers. I'm trying to contact some of the big YouTubers to come onto here and talk to you lot directly. So we'll have to wait and see if I'm successful in doing that. Hopefully I am. But I know some of them don't like this kind of format, because it gets them exposed to the raw fans, and some may not like that. We'll see how it goes. If they come, they're welcome. If they don't want to come, it's fine by me anyway. I want to see if Julius is back or if he's still away. Julius, can you hear me, mate? Julius? No, I think Julius is still not here. Listen, lads, thank you to everyone who's taken part. Thank you to everyone who's been in the chat. Some great comments, some great interaction from the chat, and also from the panel. Big up, and hopefully I'll be able to stream tomorrow. If I'm not, I'll let you guys know on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter. It's at Baggy TV. So I'll see you all later. Have a good one. Take care of yourselves, and I'm going to give you my outro. Good night, guys.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.